And we're here today to discuss a sweeping, unprecedented, and historically successful operation that my administration has carried out in recent weeks to arrest, prosecute, and permanently remove members of foreign drug cartels from American soil.
It began in Virginia, but it ended inside a prison cell in Minnesota. The first domino fell early this morning when the FBI executed a search warrant at the home of Washington Post reporter Hannah Nathanson. Federal agents seized phones and laptops, confirming the leak they were hunting was real. But the story Nathanson was chasing wasn't just a leak. It was the blueprint of a federal betrayal. 4:47 a.m. Minneapolis, Minnesota. While the headlines broke in Virginia, the real operation was already unfolding on the frozen streets of the Twin Cities. The city slept beneath a blanket of darkness. The temperature sat at 11 degrees. Streets were empty. Inside a federal command center 3 blocks away, FBI Special Agent Marcus Chun stood motionless before a glowing digital map. For 9 months, his team had quietly built a web of surveillance. Every dot on that map represented a target. Every line traced back to a single source, Judge Layla Mahed. Judge Mahed was a pillar of the community. For 11 years, she wore the black robe, presiding over immigration hearings. To the public, she was compassionate yet firm. She decided who stayed in America and who was deported. But federal investigators knew the truth. Judge Mahed wasn't just presiding over cases, she was monetizing them. At 4:52 a.m., the order came through: execute immediately. This was not a routine arrest. This was a decapitation strike against a corruption network that had compromised the U.S. judicial system. Between January 2021 and December 2024, Judge Mahed approved 3,847 asylum applications under what appeared to be standard procedure. Normally, a single case takes months: background checks, interviews, document verification. But Judge Mahed's cases were being approved within hours. A routine audit in March 2023 flagged the anomaly: 214 approvals in a single week. Statistically impossible. When the Treasury Department opened a parallel investigation, they found the reason. The price of American citizenship was $18,000. Payments were routed through shell companies registered in Nevada, Delaware, and Wyoming, entities with names like Global Consulting Services and Horizon Legal Solutions. They looked like law firms. They were actually fronts for the Somali Brotherhood Network. Tracked since 2019, this criminal syndicate operated across 7 states, from Minnesota to Maine, and as far west as California. Their business model was simple: smuggle people in, forge documents, and let the judge clear the way. In just 4 years, Judge Mahed processed $69.2 million in fraudulent immigration approvals.
The latest attempt to restrict the amount of migrants who claim asylum between ports of entry at the southern border.
Treasury analysts confirmed wire transfers matching that exact amount moving through offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands and Dubai. But the network didn't just move people, they moved contraband. The Somali Brotherhood used legal immigration as cover to smuggle cash and weapons inside shipments Judge Mahed ensured were never closely inspected. At 5:30 a.m., the federal convoy rolled out. 18 unmarked vehicles from the FBI, DEA, ICE, and U.S. Marshals Service sliced through the silent streets. No sirens, no lights, just engines and intent. They converged on 7 locations simultaneously. The primary target: Judge Mahed's chambers. Secondary targets: her luxury home in the Adena neighborhood and 3 warehouses in suburban industrial zones. If you believe judges who sell asylum for cash should face life in prison without parole, hit the like button and comment guilty below. At 5:18 a.m., the first breach hit. A battering ram smashed through the reinforced door of Judge Mahed's downtown office. The frame splintered. Agents poured in, weapons drawn. Federal agents. Search warrant. The office was empty, but the evidence wasn't. Agent Chun led the recovery team. Behind a false wall panel, they found the first cache: 11 encrypted cell phones.
Customs and Border Protection has seized over $14,000 in cash from 2 Somali-born U.S. citizens.
Each phone was a burner tied to a different underworld contact. Names were coded. A logistics coordinator was actually Abdi Hassan, while a community organizer was Farah Osman, a known money courier. The phones held 4,216 messages. These weren't conversations, they were orders: clear the transfer by Wednesday. Approve application 7,741. No interview. Ensure no secondary review. This was the smoking gun. Judge Mahed was issuing direct commands to bypass national security protocols. Inside a locked filing cabinet, agents found handwritten ledgers, notebooks documenting every bribe, case number, date, and amount. One ledger alone listed 892 fraudulent approvals, each marked with a red check, linked to payments between $15,000 and $22,000. While the office was being cleared, a tactical team breached Judge Mahed's $1.9 million home in Edina. In the master bedroom they found 3 safes. Safe 1, $340,000 in cash, bundled $100 bills. Safe 2, 23 passports, different names, identical photos. Safe 3, 4 encrypted hard drives. Those drives were the holy grail: videos of meetings between a sitting federal judge and cartel operatives, audio recordings of payment negotiations, and bank records showing $127 million in wire transfers. But the most terrifying discovery came at 5:44 a.m. in Brooklyn Park. A warehouse registered as household storage turned out to be a cartel distribution hub. The first crate, 63 AR-15 rifles, no serial numbers, full auto modifications. The second, 240,000 rounds of ammunition. Then DA agents uncovered 127 vacuum-sealed bricks, weighing 279 pounds total, enough to kill every person in Minnesota 3 times over.
Authorities are calling it the largest drug bust in Minnesota history, with almost 1,000 pounds of meth taken off the streets.
Shipping manifests listed deliveries to 14 cities, including Chicago, Detroit, Seattle, and New York, all scheduled within 10 days. The raid stopped a mass casualty event. Simultaneously in Bloomington, agents raided a townhouse housing a massive forgery operation. They seized 418 professionally forged documents: Social Security cards, driver's licenses, embassy seals from 6 countries. One question remained: where was the judge? At 6:41 a.m., an ICE agent at Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport flagged suspicious activity. A private jet had filed a flight plan to Dubai, scheduled to depart at 7:15 a.m. Passenger manifest, Layla Mahed. Agent Chun grabbed his radio. All units, target attempting to flee. Interdiction authorized. 6 federal vehicles raced toward Terminal 2. Judge Mahed walked calmly through the private aviation lounge, black coat, single leather bag. She believed she was untouchable. At 6:58 a.m., agents entered. "You are under arrest." She turned slowly, no panic, no shock. "On what charges?" she asked. "Corruption, racketeering, conspiracy, immigration fraud, money laundering. Shall I continue?" As cuffs closed, she whispered 3 words later documented in reports. "You have no idea what you've just done. We are tracking the list of the 29 co-conspirators named in the indictment. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the expose." By 8:15 a.m., prosecutors unsealed a 74-page indictment: 18 corruption counts, 23 wire fraud counts, 9 racketeering charges. Maximum exposure, 340 years. By noon, arrests rolled across 7 states. Abdi Hassan was taken with $1.2 million in cash.
New Hampshire netted dozens of arrests and $100,000.
In San Diego, agents raided a warehouse linked to Tahir Isef, seizing 89 firearms and 341 kilograms of contraband. The network collapsed within hours, but the rot ran deeper. Between 2021 and 2024, Judge Mahed communicated with 11 other officials. DOJ identified 19 federal employees under investigation. Nationwide, 47,000 asylum approvals were deemed fraudulent. Estimated damage, $1.4 billion. Ballistics tied seized weapons to 23 unsolved homicides. Drugs were linked to 89 overdose deaths. Judge Mahed had blood on her hands. Her trial began March 18, 2025. On April 22, after 11 hours of deliberation, the verdict came back: guilty on all counts. Sentence, 28 years, no parole. Asset forfeiture, $31.7 million. By August 2025, 41 officials were convicted. The government seized $487 million. Fraudulent approvals dropped 91%. Judge Mahed thought she was the law. Now she is a prisoner of it. Do you believe every asylum case from the last 5 years should be re-audited? Yes or no? Comment below. Stay vigilant.